In our new book, The Way of the Dragon or The Way of the Lamb, Jamin and I go on a journey. On this journey, we explore Scripture, and we're confronted with Jesus' way of power. And we knew in our own lives, we actually had to go and find and fleshed models of this way. It wasn't enough to simply read about it in Scripture and try to guess what it looked like. We needed living examples of what this looked like. And so this led us to fly all around to Paris even, to Vancouver, to go to Montana, at times in our own backyard to find sages. And so we met with Dallas Willard a year before he died, with James Houston, with Eugene Peterson, with Marva Dawn. We met with folks like J.I. Packer, who've meant so much to us over the years. People like John Perkins, who have given their lives to stand against power, to Jean Vanier, who's given himself to care for people who are powerless in the way of the world, and to give them real power, real humanity in the face of a power system that tends to undermine their humanity.
What we discovered in conversations with these sages, what became more and more clear as we kind of embarked on this journey, is that there's always two ways of power before us. James narrates these two ways of power in his epistle, chapter 3. He talks about the way from above and the way from below. The way from above and the way from below can be distinguished with two very simple questions. Where do we believe power comes from? And what do we believe power is for? The way from below believes that power is found in the self, in one's own strength, and it's for the sake of control, for domination, for winning. But the way from above, the way of Christ, believes that power is found in the midst of our weakness and depending upon another, and depending upon God for strength. And it's for the sake of love.
In the midst of this journey, I think what was so troubling to us was one sage in particular pointed that, notice the way from below that James narrates is the way of evil. James says it's the way of the world, the flesh, and the devil.
That's right.
And yet, the church itself can tap into this way. That in our Christian lives, we can tap into this way. As Paul says in Galatians, we can try to sow to the flesh and reap in the Spirit. But what you sow, you will reap. And what we discovered is that the church today in many places, and in Christian life today in many places, we are trying to sow to the flesh. We are trying to use evil power, a power that is antithetical to the cross to further the kingdom. Our book seeks to narrate the call that Christians have to live not in the way of the world, not in this kind of power, but in the power God provides through Jesus Christ, the power that is the way of the cross found in the Spirit.